What's up, everybody? Hey, it is not Thursday. It's Friday. I tell you what, I am going to shut that door right there. Well, let me know when you're present and accounted for in the house. We're doing a Friday night. Hopefully I don't catch too many of you off guard, and hopefully y'all still join in. We're getting some comments now, and I'm messing up my screen here. Trying to view the comments. There we go. Here we go. Roland Perez, JD, Random Skills, Bigfoot, Bass Guide TV. Nice channel name there. I like that one. Brian Howell, John Martin, David Gilmore. Somebody came in. Brian Howell, you came in. You saw the Facebook and Instagram post that I just made. We're in mourning around here, in the guide community around here, and in the fishing community around here. We're all kind of in mourning over Lake Monticello. Tough deal, man. No easy answer. Privately owned property, blah, blah, blah. Money involved, and money in government. Boy, that can ruin just about anything, and it has unfortunately, for the foreseeable future, completely done away with one of the best bass fisheries that has ever existed, without a doubt. That's... My wife's trying to call me while I'm doing a live stream. Like, that's just perfect. I'm going to be in trouble with y'all because she's interrupting the live stream, and I'm going to be in trouble with her because I didn't answer her phone call, but we'll figure that out later. Let me know if I still got a good picture. Sometimes when people call, it cuts out the picture, so if you don't see me anymore, please drop that in the comments or let me know that you do still see me. That would be great and helpful. All good. Okay, we're good. All right. So I'll do the short version. I'm actually going to post a video next week going into all the in-depth details. Got with Heath Taylor today, went and shot a video about Lake Monticello and the closure and everything that went into that. All the just sad circumstances, really, very sad. But essentially, Luminant Energy owns that property, owns that park. They had leased it to the county. The county did not renew the lease when they shut the plant down. An individual took over that lease, and he decided to relinquish that lease, so now there's nobody to take responsibility for or operate the park as far as the mowing, the maintenance. There's a dock that needs repair, the boat ramp needs repair, the dock on the Bob Sandlin side, because there's a Bob Sandlin side of that park, it needs repair really bad. So there was some hazards involved in what was available to use out there, so it was a little bit of a liability, and I think that had a lot to do with it when you're talking about a big corporation and their decision-making process. I'm just speculating on that, but it's closed, and there's no solution in sight. Luminant has lost tons of money in this situation with that park and that plant, and I don't see any way they're going to donate anything. And only clearly visible way for it to get fixed immediately would be if they were to donate the park property to the state somehow. And that's just not going to happen because they have an asset. That property is a valuable asset. And with all the money they've lost, they're not going to give anything else away for free, I don't think. So it does not look good for the future of Lake Monticello. I do know of an individual, and we'll go into depth on that in a video, that there is an individual that's trying to work with Luminant, has contacted Luminant. So far, he's not getting positive responses from them, but he's not giving up. He's a very passionate individual about Lake Monticello, loves fishing that lake. He has the means and the wherewithal to make something happen if anybody does. And so he's trying to find a solution where maybe he can be the privately owned entity that operates it. But right now, the first response he got from Luminant was not very positive, so it does not look good. I see Colton Loach saying Texas Parks and Wildlife should step in. Buddy, I hear you, and that would be great for us as an isolated group of bass fishermen, but should they really? Because you want a government to come in and claim private property? That's not okay. We don't want to go to a place where we got government coming in and taking something that's privately owned, because that leads to a whole other, that's not a road we ever want to go down, in my opinion. I don't ever want to be a part of going down that road or encourage anybody to go down that road. This is privately owned property by a company, by a corporation. We can't dictate what they do with that property any more than Texas Parks and Wildlife can't come in here and take my house. They can't take the property, the acre that my house sits on. They can't take half of that to do whatever they want to with because somebody needs fishing access. That wouldn't be right either. It's a rough situation to figure out. It's a very challenging. And my wife just called again, and now I'm getting kind of worried. A little bit distracted. Yeah, I switched up the days. Actually, that was accidental. Last night, I was supposed to go live last night. We normally do these on Thursday night. And last night, time just got away from me. I looked up and it was like 9:30, and I was like, crap, I got to get up early. So we didn't do it last night, unfortunately. But we're here tonight to make it up to you. I'm sorry about that. So let's go into baits real quick, and I'll answer some questions. Everybody's telling me to call my wife. Call my wife. I'm going to call my wife real quick, and I will start over. Y'all hang on. I'll be right back. I think we're back. All right, let me know if we're back. Hey, we're still here. We're still here. Cool. All right, so we got folks still in. Looks like we lost some, but come back. Come back. Everybody that left, hopefully they come back. She didn't need anything, of course. It was nothing urgent. I'll just call her back when we're done. She didn't know I was doing this, though, because she's on the road right now. So, where were we? I think we're about to break into baits. You know, I mean, the fishing is kind of tough for me. I mean, I'm always hesitant to say that because I always know there's somebody catching them real good at Lake Fork. Like, that's just kind of how Lake Fork is. But I think for most people, for everybody that I've talked to, fishing's pretty tough right now at Lake Fork. It's pretty tough everywhere, really. It's not easy for anybody. So let's dive into what is working. There is a hollow-bodied frog bite. I've been using the 6th Sense frog. I'm also using the Spro frog as well because I've only got one of these, and usually there's more than one person fishing on my boat. The Spro frog's getting bit really good too, so find some pads and scattered grass and stuff next to a deeper drain, and first thing in the morning you can definitely get some good frog bites. There's no doubt about that. If it's real calm, which a lot of days it has been, especially early in the day, I'm wacky rigging the new 6th Sense Divine Shaggy Head Worm or Divine Finesse Worm, whatever they're calling it, in the watermelon red type color. Wacky rigging that. Gamakatsu Wide Gap Weedless Hook right there. Got a nail weight. Got a half a nail weight in the head right here. Show you guys what we're talking about. Right there. Little half a nail weight that a broken half, and stick it right down in the nose area there, and it's good to go. You can't see it anymore, see? All right, that, and then this bait's really actually cooled off. The chatterbait's cooled off. 4 phone calls during a live stream. 4. 3. Ridiculous. The chatterbait has cooled off for us a little bit, but it does still get bit a little bit here and there. It does still catch quality fish, and it's like my most trusted friend there, so I definitely am still using it a lot. Those are shallow baits. Now let's go out deep. The bite's not any better out deep. I'm really not catching any more fish out deep than I am shallow. Like, both are kind of equal right now. And the best bait for me out deep has been the big spoon. This is the big Jumbo Joe spoon and the big 6th Sense Magnum spoon. I'm using both of these spoons equally. They have a little bit different fall, so I kind of throw one when somebody else is throwing the other in my boat. This is my favorite one. This custom painted job from Joe Spates, that's my favorite one. That's the one that if I was going to fish tournament tomorrow, that's probably the one I would have in my hands. The guy that just called me is texting me right now, asking me about Monticello and if it's closed. Like, that's the guy that called. He saw my post and it said I was going live, and he still called me. Come on, man. Come on, bro. But the deal with the spoons is they're not getting a lot of bites. But nothing's getting a lot of bites. Like, I'm not going out and catching a lot of fish on any day. But the deal with the spoon is every time I pull up and that spoon's heavy and I catch one, it is a quality fish. Like 4 and 5 pounders are at the low end of the size of fish that the spoon is catching right now. So If I was going out to catch the 5 biggest bass I could tomorrow, or the 4 biggest bass, or to try and catch the biggest bag of tournament type fish that I could. Now on Lake Fork, this won't do any good because it's slot lake if you got a tournament. But if you're like me, every day you go out, you want to catch the best 5 fish you can, whether you're in the tournament or not. That's just kind of how I operate. So if I was in that scenario and I was wanting to catch the biggest 5 fish I could, I would put that flutter spoon in my hands. I would go find schools of fish that are suspended a little bit off the bottom over offshore structure. Or even if they're on the bottom, I would still throw it. I'm catching fish that are on the bottom on that spoon too. I would keep that spoon in my hands all day and pray that I got all 5 of the bites that I needed, because when you catch one, it's going to count. You're going to have everything you need there. And the other bait that's starting to work, and this is a bite. This here, guys, this is a bite that's coming towards us that will keep getting better as we get into September and even into early October. This will be a key player. This is one that it just doesn't get a lot of play, a lot of publicity anymore. It's as old school and simple as it gets, but yet this time of year, every year, once we kind of start coming out of summer, start heading toward that summer to fall transition, this joker right here is a player. The old Texas rig. And this is a 10-inch worm because I've been throwing this in offshore brush piles, but I'm also throwing an 8-inch Texas rig up shallow as well. Both of them on a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight, pegging it for the brush pile factor. And a 4 or 5 aught EWG hook or a straight shank flipping hook. Either one of those will work. But plum apple is the color I'm using offshore right now, but any type of green color is good up shallow. But just a ribbon tail worm, like that deal that you started fishing with when you were a kid, it still works. It still works. Somebody said, hang on, I'll give you a call. That's funny. How's the water clarity? The water clarity it's okay. It's dirtier than it should be, but we're at the end of summer, guys. The water's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. It always is this time of year. It's normally a lot cleaner than what it is right now today, but it's not bad. You'll find some stained water in the backs of creeks, but it's not unfishable by any means. There's no fish left in Fork. Sometimes it can feel that way for a couple hours at a time, and then one of them old heads will lean on that spoon, and you go, okay, maybe there's still 1 or 2 left. What size of that half nail weight? Lunker City has different sizes. Man, I don't know. I think it's a 3/16 or a 3/32. I don't know. It's a small one. It's not like there's a big fat one. I don't use that one. I use a small one. Sorry, I have missed a few live streams. I had a kidney transplant. Man, I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that, bud. Hope you're doing better. No bubble fry. Yeah, you can throw the Carolina rig bubble fry. That's a very good bait to throw right now as well. I don't know why it's not in the top 5. It should be. Because I didn't have to, it's not a top 6. That's why it's not in the top 5. You could probably pull that chatterbait out and put the bubble fry in, but I have a hard time doing that. I have never fished with a spoon. How would you describe how you fish it? Sure, I will. So you throw it out there and you let it fall to the bottom, and the big deal is whenever that flutter spoon is falling, it needs to be falling on slack line. So you need to feed it slack as it falls. Strip line out of your reel. Make sure that there's a bow in that line. There's slack line when it's falling. That'll make it dance. If you let it fall on a tight line, it's just going to turn on its side and fall like a rock. If you don't, it'll flutter and kick back and forth real good. So let it fall on a slack line. Once it's on the bottom, take your rod, reel your slack up till your rod's pointed down at the water, and just lift your rod. Just lift your rod like you're swimming that spoon up, and then feed it slack. Drop your rod back down, feed it slack, and it'll flutter back down. And you just do that over and over and over again. What size fish string, what kind on your reel? Well, it depends on what bait I'm throwing. Like with the frog, we're throwing 65-pound braid, but with the spoon, we're throwing 20-pound fluorocarbon. I think that Texas rig has 17-pound fluorocarbon. Chatterbait, I've been throwing 20-pound fluorocarbon. It just depends. 15 on the wacky worm. Alright, I think I caught up on that. Really like that video. Wednesday, good stuff. The man upstairs will always guide you in the right direction. Sure, he will. Even when you try to go the wrong direction, he will grab you and steer you back on the right course. It's certainly what he has done for me. It's ironic that you brought that video up because you might say it's had mixed reviews, I guess you would say. I just do what I think is right, and some people get offended by it or take it the wrong way or get mad or upset about it, and there's not much I can do for them. I'm never ever trying to maliciously go after anybody, and if they would look at it with open eyes, I think they would see that that I could have done a lot more to go after some people in some ways, and I didn't. But it is what it is. Did I get the crusty the crusty reel? Yeah, I had a fish. I had a customer catch a rod and reel off the bottom of it. I've got a more detailed story about that coming up because it's very interesting how we caught that rod and reel. There was some history behind it, but no, that reel is not in working order. I've not even tried to get it in working order. I don't know that I will try to get the reel in working order. The rod is in good shape though. Can we talk about what's happening on Monticello? Why is it closed? Absolutely. Well, we spent the whole first, 15 minutes of this live stream tonight talking about it. We can recap it real quick. Basically, Luminant, private entity, owns that property that park is on. They had it leased to the county back when the plant was running. When the plant shut down, the county did not renew the lease on the park. A private entity, an individual came in and took over that lease, and they have decided they didn't want to do it anymore. There was some bad ramp issues, bad dock issues, some liability issues, some safety issues out there that needed to be addressed. And that guy didn't want to do it, and Luminant, as a big corporate entity, didn't want to take on the liability of it, so they have decided to close it, and there's no plans. Like right now, there's no answer. We're going to have a big, long, detailed video. I went out there with Heath Taylor today. We filmed a video discussing all the details of this whole situation. So next week, be sure you check out that video if you're interested in the Lake Monticello story and the Lake Monticello future and the plight of everything that's going on out there. Be sure you catch that one. It'll be good. Big John says, best video I've seen in a long time. Just let God keep guiding you. I'm going to do my best, brother. I know he will. Even when I don't do my best, he'll still guide me because that's what he's always done for me. So he does work in many ways. Those fish will be fun when it reopens. We had a lake closed for 4 years. Yeah. That is one thing that could potentially be a positive. I can guarantee you this. I'll be the first sucker in line. I'll be there the night before whenever it's scheduled to reopen. I'll be waiting at the gate, man. If they close Monticello for an extended period of time, a year, 2 years, whatever it may be, and then they reopen it, boys, I'm going to tell you something right now. You ain't never going to have fish like you fished that day, the first day it opens back up. If somebody slides a kayak in, would they be in trouble? Here's what I can tell you. There's no real way to access Monticello without crossing private property, so technically you would be trespassing. They have a fence up at where the bridge meets the road, where you can't walk down the side of the bridge. Like, you can't drag your kayak down through the bushes down the side of the bridge because there's a big fence up. And if you hop that fence, now you're on private property. So I don't know that there's a way to get into it, even with a kayak, where you're not trespassing and committing a crime. So, I don't know. Heard the stumps are nasty out there. I never got to go. Yeah, in the north end of the lake, like most of the lake, there's like no stumps. But the north end of the lake, yeah, it's one of the thickest field of stumps, and they're all like petrified. I don't know what it is about hot water lakes, but heated lakes, the stumps get so hard. Like, I don't know why. I don't understand it, but they're like rocks. I mean, literally like rocks. And so it was a very difficult lake to navigate at full pool. There was a lot of stumps right on the surface that were just like concrete. Now you can see them all because the lake level dropped. When they shut the plant down, they opened the floodgate into Monticello, and it dropped the lake level about 2.5 foot, something like that. And so you can see the tops of all the stumps. So when you look across that north end and realize what you drove over, you're like, oh my goodness, like it's pretty crazy. Who's got the bolt cutters? Hey man, the game board out there is my buddy, so I ain't gonna recommend none of that. I will neither confirm nor deny if that's a good idea. Todd says we need to fly into it. If any of you guys out there that are watching this happen to be multimillionaires and you have a private helicopter that can like lift my boat and just ease it down into the water on Monticello, I'm in. I'll take you for all the free trips on Monticello you want if you will airlift my boat into the lake. Hey, being a former Marine, how cool would that be to be driving over there around Monticello and see a dang CH-53, a big old black helicopter with a bass boat hanging underneath it and just easing down to the water and then letting the straps go and the guy goes fishing. That would be probably the coolest thing that I would ever experience in my life. Colton Deloach says, at least you caught over 100 pounds out of there, and it's documented. We did. We had the most unbelievable day of fishing, I think, in my life, where we caught over 100 pounds of bass in about 5 hours. From 7:30 to 12:30 is what we fished. We caught 25 fish for 104 pounds. Pretty, and we documented it on camera, like, pretty cool. Still haven't seen that anywhere where there's 100 pounds documented on camera. I'm not saying it doesn't exist because there's so much fishing content out there. There's no way for me to check all of it, but I have not found it. Fish Life Outdoors says, I'm thinking about buying the Monty ramp. Dude, you can't afford to pay attention, Z-Dub. I don't know what you talking about. You gonna buy the Monty ramp. Somebody says, didn't know there were stumps the first time I was there and it was foggy and I about crapped my pants when I saw what I ran through. That would be scary, yes. Oh my goodness, ZW. ZW is doing some day drinking over there, just making 800 comments. I can't even keep up with him. The whack is deadly out there. Oh, okay, he's just talking. Wouldn't you know it? Zach Watts is talking about the wacky worm in the comments. How about that? Surprise, surprise. Hey, are there any more questions tonight? Please drop them in. I'd be more than happy to answer what I could. Fish in the Midwest says he's an Army Ranger from 2008 to 2012. That's awesome, my brother. My brother in arms. Thank you for your service, my man. Rangers lead the way as soon as they catch up with the Marines. That's all I'm saying. Smash Tech Convict, Lake Monticello. Best time I've ever had in my life. That is... We documented a little bit of that on camera. Like, we've made some banger videos on Monticello. Like, we have made so many good videos in Lake Monticello. Man, we have had some quality content come out there. Probably my favorite, oldest video of mine is the swim bait video, the Smash Tech Convict, and we just demolished them. I mean, golly, we caught them. Do we want to do karate in the garage? Do we just become best friends? Yep. Z-Dub, I'm telling you, he must be doing some day drinking. He's over there quoting the Step Brothers. Well, hey, that's Friday night. Friday night, man. You guys are going fishing tomorrow. If you're going fishing, be sure you got your big flutter spoon tied on. Get your old Texas rig worm tied on. If you're fishing offshore, and you got kind of an open area, road bed or something like that doesn't have a lot of timber or cover on it, throw them flutter spoons. If it does have brush piles or timber, throw that big worm, big 10-inch ribbon tail Texas rig, and good luck, man. Hope you guys catch some fish. It's been kind of tough, so I hope y'all catch some big ones this morning. Crappyitis says, I sent you a photo of an 8.2 caught on Big Perm the day after you dropped the video. Nice. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. I know there's been a lot of people go take advantage of that Big Perm bite. That's what we caught that 100-pound day on, was that big straight tail worm Magnum crawler from Smash Tech. And, man, I feel bad for Heath. You know, that has to hurt him because Heath has been fishing that lake since he was a little bitty kid with his dad and everything. And he grew up over there, and Kali, I can't imagine all the memories that he's just watching that lake. You know, he's taking his kids out there and caught big fish, and like, it is, it's a sad, sad day. It's just a really sad day. You know, if Lake Fork closed, it would be a bigger deal because there'd be more people. But man, Lake Monticello is a great storied, historical, awesome fishery. I think it even held the state record at one time before Fork got to pumping them out. But it's a sad day, guys. You know, that's the thing about what we do. We go fishing every week, and these resources that we have are not guaranteed. You know, I mean, God forbid, but they could decide to drop drain Lake Fork tomorrow. And there's nothing we can do about it. These lakes, they're not built for fishing. It's just a byproduct. Lake Fork is a water source. Lake Monticello was a cooling source for a power plant. When that power plant was no longer in service, Lake Monticello was just there. It didn't serve any real purpose other than we got pleasure out of it. But as far as what it was built for, it wasn't of any use anymore. And it was costing those guys money, and they shut it down. They closed the gate. They didn't want to deal with the liability and all that. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We are blessed to have what we have in East Texas. We've got so many lakes. But any of them can go away at any time. So I guess the moral of this story truly is to, when you're out there fishing this weekend or next weekend or whenever it is, don't take it for granted. If you're on a lake that you love and you're catching good fish and all that stuff, like, cherish that, relish that, enjoy it, enjoy every second of it, because we are blessed to get to go do what we do on a week-to-week basis, for me on a day-to-day basis, and it can go away. Remember that. Somebody says, we've had power plants shut down and 4 more closing this year. Winter fishing is done. Well, I guess, from Illinois. Yeah, Illinois winter fishing might be done. Yeah, dude, that last president we had before this current one, he literally intentionally tried to put coal out of business. And the current president has tried his best to recover it and help those guys, but for most of them, it's too late. And we've lost several power plants throughout the state of Texas, and we're going to continue losing more. It just, what he did to the coal industry and trying to take it away over some debatable science at best when it comes to what he used as a reason to do that is just, I'm not going to get into politics, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I promise you, you follow the money and you'll find the real reason why he did it. It ain't got nothing to do with the environment. Money and government can ruin just about anything, and they've taken away an awesome resource from us, unfortunately. Next song remix, I like Big Bass, and I cannot lie, I actually already have a song wrote to that that deal that we made up fishing a tournament on a cold winter day a long time ago. And Chris Blackman, I see you're on here. I like Big Guts, and I cannot lie. We made up a whole song of that. It was pretty funny. So, all right, man, this is like somber, sad night. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I've got a fantasy football draft. Fantasy football draft is here. I'm so excited for that every time it happens. Yeah, I will be being a gooberhead for the next couple days because our fantasy football league, the draft is like a whole weekend event. Zach Watts is supposed to be here right now, but he's doing whatever he's doing, wherever he's doing it. And I believe Michael Burnside will be here in a little bit. You've seen him on a video with me one time. Somebody said enough politics, let's talk baits. We did baits. Okay, I'll do baits real quick again. If you're going shallow early, mix grass and pads, throw your frogs. Spro frogs working to them, throw them both. If it's calm, throw a wacky worm, watermelon red, nail weight in the head. Windy, chatterbait. Not getting as many bites as I was, but still getting bites. Out deep, Big spoons have been my best bait. Not catching a lot, but I'm not catching a lot on anything anywhere. The fish is tough, but these are getting, every time I catch one of this, real good quality fish. And then big Texas rig ribbon tail right here. Plum algal, offshore, brush piles, heavy timber, big Texas rig 10-inch ribbon tail worm. There's the recap on the baits. I really am getting off this time. I promise. Thank each and every one of you guys for watching like always. I will try not to miss Thursday next week. I apologize for making that mistake last night. And we'll see you guys next time right here on Your Lake Fork Guide.